All right, Happy New Year, everybody. We're here. We finally made it December 31, 2024. Been a great year overall. Been an interesting year. A lot of learning, a lot of great trades, a lot of good opportunities out there. Super thankful for everybody that has participated here. Super thankful for all of you that have either liked or subscribed, followed along with what we're doing. Super thankful for those of you that posted some great comments and constructive stuff in the YouTube channel here. So great stuff all year. Excited for next year. We did a lot of year-end cleaning today in the Lazy Trader account. We added some new trades in the trading account, getting ready for 2025. It's here, man. Did this year go fast? So let's just recap it. It's New Year's Eve. I don't want to keep you guys too long. But let's take a look at what's working, what's not out there, what the markets are doing. Let's take a quick look. We jump in. Here we go. ES today. So the market's dropped 25 points on the day on the ES futures. Uh, Other than that, really not a whole lot of anything. Light volume. Uh, we did have a little bit of an update. Some started to tail off towards the close, but didn't finish down too badly. So about 0.4% down on the session. We remain in this value area here, but we are at obviously the lower end of the value area range. So lower end of this range, we're right at support here. We keep knocking on it, which makes me a little bit nervous that you knock on a door enough times, someone's going to open it and you're going to walk through. So we'll see what happens, but or if you walk on a trap door enough times, it's going to open up and you're going to fall in. So either way, whatever analogy you want to use, we're right there. I mean, we broke the 50-day moving average on ES today on the S&P 500 futures. MACD down, RSI is down, squeezes momentum's down, stochastic momentum is down. Momentum is definitely down. It was a down week. We've had really 2 out of the last 3 weeks have been down. So ending the year kind of just limping to the finish line, but it's been a great year for the markets overall. So good year in the markets overall. I think trying to see what we were up, I think on the year, I think 24%, I think pretty much on the nose this year. So I think 24% right on the nose is where we were. So good stuff overall in the markets. Can't complain. 20% plus years back to back. Kind of makes next year a little bit scarier. Doesn't mean we can't do it, but I'm expecting that maybe between some ups and downs, maybe we'll do a 10, 11% kind of a normalized year. I don't think it'll be a down year overall, but I think we'll definitely have some swings to the downside. And then I think we'll have some recoveries as well. And I would expect that unless things go really awry, that we should end up the year in a decent note. But we'll get into that. But right now we'll trade what we see. And what we see is the market's just kind of limping to the finish line this week. Momentum down. Doesn't look overall great for the markets. Not a disaster. The pullback is definitely welcome. And we positioned ourselves today to take advantage of this in the investing account. So we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Oil having a nice rally to end the year. So not as S&P, the ES futures down at the bottom of that range. Oil is now back to the top of its trading range that it's been in now for a couple months. And we took advantage of this. We have several trades on. We added a new trade today. Oil not overbought at all. I think it's got some more upside to go here. I don't know really where it can go to the upside. I don't know that there's a huge catalyst to drive oil to the upside. Again, I think production's continuing pretty heavily. I think demand is fair at best out there. So I really don't see a big upside to oil. I also don't see oil crashing anytime soon. But we're going to just trade what we see. And right now what we see is a pretty strong oil market breaking the 21 EMA on the weekly here today. And then also we'd already broken, the 21, the 50, and the 13 EMAs here. And now you've got the 13 and the 21 crossing the 50. So really pretty bullish outlook. You're in a squeeze. Looks like it's firing to the upside. pretty good upside move in oil. So we're trading it and we like it. Now, bonds putting in a decent little bottom area here. We can look back. We've got some support here, previous pivot low, right around this 112. I've been talking about this 112, 30, and 30 ticks area here. We're holding it pretty well. So we've been just holding on here, bouncing off these lows. Big bounce yesterday. Things look to be getting their momentum back. And then today we started off to the upside looking really strong and then just sold off kind of midday and just, still finished. We didn't set new lows or anything, but we gave back about half of yesterday's trading. However, I still think we look like we are nearing some lows here. And we did place a trade today, so I'm going to get into that trade with you. So I'll share two trades with you today. I'm going to share an oil trade. We're going to share a bond trade with you today that we did. But overall, constructive bottom in bonds. I don't think there's anything here to get super excited about. I also don't think there's anything here to get super alarmed about. I think we just are going to trade sideways for quite a while. Gold, however, had a nice little move up today after its 2 days of down moves, still in its range here as well. So, we're in this balance area. Nothing that, looks just neutral to me. We have a put credit spread that's working fine. Nothing to do here on gold, but just let data work in our favor. Just nice consolidation sideways. We did break the uptrend line that we had, but we broke it by just kind of moving sideways. We're holding the 21 EMA on the weekly. We're barely holding it here on the daily, but we're holding it. I think it's a nice little strangle opportunity. All right, real quick, let's just hit it. Copper, breaking down further. We have no trades in copper. This is a no trade. You're breaking out of the bottom of this value area. Nothing to do on copper. Silver, same type of a thing. You got an H pattern developing. If we break this level that we just hit today, things could get even uglier. For silver, don't like silver. The Aussie dollar continues to just drive just lower and lower and lower. It's just getting absolutely crushed in here for weeks and weeks and weeks, all the way back to 9/23 of this year. So 3 months of just getting the living daylights beat out of it. Here, this just untradeable to me. I just don't see any improvement on the horizon. And then on RTY, we'll look at NASDAQ as well, but on RTY, decent little day today. So on the IWM or RTY, we did have an up day, whereas most of the markets were down on the session. Most of it because of some of the bigger tech stock names, which got beat up decently today. I think small caps could be an opportunity next year. We're going to position ourselves to get into it. I'll talk a little bit more about that as well here. So a couple really good things to jump into. And then let's just finish it up with the NASDAQ. Now, NASDAQ had looked better than the S&P. It had held this rising wedge pretty well until these last just 4 terrible sessions in a row, finishing at the lows of the session today. So today, the NASDAQ down almost 0.9%, almost a full percentage point, the worst of the major indexes between the S&P, the NASDAQ, and the Russell. So Russell was up, the other two were down, and NASDAQ worst of the group. Maybe some profit taking at the end of the year, I don't know. I like the Qs for next year. That's where I'm going to focus. We'll probably trade QQQM a bit. A little bit lower priced opportunity there, a little bit lower expense ratio than the Qs. I want to own them in the investing account, not trade them necessarily. So I'm looking, that does matter to me. Not as liquid though, so we'll play that as we go. So it depends on whether you're trading or you're investing, and both those things very different. All right, and then really quick here. Apple finishing right at the 21-day moving average on a down day here. Microsoft breaking the 200-day moving average today. This thing does not look good at all. in here. Amazon breaking the 21-day moving average. Doesn't really look great here either. Meta breaking the 50-day. It already broke the 21, broke the 50-day moving average today. Doesn't look great here either. Google above the 21-day moving average. Still looks weak in here, but not like the others. It has still held above the 21-day moving average. I like where Google is. I think this pullback's an opportunity, but you might as well just let the dust settle on this market. But these guys don't look great, but Google looks okay, and it's one of my best picks for next year. All right, Nvidia, same type of a thing. It's one of my best picks for next year. I think Google and Nvidia are both pretty fairly valued right in here. So I don't think it's a problem actually getting long them, but you might as well wait and see. Today we broke the trifecta of moving averages here if you're looking at the daily chart, where we broke through the 50, the 21, and the 13-day moving average to the downside. Stochastic momentum rolling over. This is a pretty good sign that we may be heading lower on NVIDIA, at least for the time being. How much lower? I don't know, but if we break this, we had this neckline here. We didn't really break it. We might make the attempt on it again, head down lower. Tesla having just a horrific week this week, dropping from 461 to 400, so dropping 60 points. So if you're in Tesla, it's no bueno. It doesn't look good. It didn't look good. It was way overdone. Okay, anything that looks like this is going to get itself punished, and Tesla is going to get punished. I like Tesla. I think it's a great company, but it's too overvalued here. We got to come down. I think we'll see some more damage there. We're down over 3% on the session today. Netflix down, breaking the 21-day moving average. Palantir down, but off of its lows, holding its 21-day, so it's hanging in there. This thing looks just as stupid as Tesla does. If you made money in 2024, fantastic. Don't bank on it. Don't, doing that again this year in 2025. But I do like the companies. If we can get them at a better discount here on a pullback, I think that will be awesome. All right, let's talk two quick things. I know I wanted to keep it shorter and struggling to do that, but Bitcoin here, it's had a really great run. Okay, we got a gap to fill. Okay, down in here. At some point, this gap will potentially get filled. We might be on our way to doing it now. We had broken the 21-day moving average. We're heading to the 50. We had a nice little bounce in Bitcoin today. So it's hanging in there. But this is a bit of a support area that we're in right now. So I think you've got to watch this. If this breaks, then I think we got more downside to come. We can draw this line kind of straight over from here. A bit of a support, not exactly a great, head and shoulders, but a bit of a head and shoulders pattern here on the daily on Bitcoin. So can we get down here? I would say that area is where we're headed if I was to bet on this thing, which means if we're looking at IBIT, which we are definitely in, we're going to do draw kind of a similar type of a piece in here, just moving this over. I don't want to need to be exact. I just want you to get the point that, maybe this is a bit of a head and shoulders. I don't know. Is this a neckline? But we still have, I think, this gap to fill down in here. So this is where we'll be watching that. And then MicroStrategy down another 4% today. This thing's just headed lower. We took profits today on MicroStrategy in a bunch of things. We're actually out. So I am out of MicroStrategy. We'll be back in as soon as something presents itself on a good trade opportunity. But I think right now we took our profits. We closed everything out in MicroStrategy. Another Jade Lizard closed today for like a 90% winner. So I think we made almost $4,500 in covered calls in the last 20 days. So really good stuff. Jade Lizards, covered calls, selling calls, call credit spreads, all kinds of opportunities to trade MicroStrategy. It could be heading lower. maybe that 250 to the 200 level. That's where, maybe we'll end up. I like the 250 level, but it's possible the 200 level. Obviously, this thing was overdone, but we'll see where MicroStrategy goes. All right. So anyway, we got the members in and out of this trade, and then we're also in Mobileye in the active trader service. This thing's been a really nice trade for us there. So Mobileye been one that we've been in. We did not take profits because we've got some good opportunities on this one. All right, so let's quickly just cover the account at the end of the year here. All right, so here is the Income Navigator account. We finished up today, finished up the last couple days here, 368, 364, ending the year. BP usage sitting right at 200 here. Our bill dropped in value because we changed over to PM actually 2 days ago. I'm not going to up my bill amount at this point in time yet, but without bill, we're right at 50%. Buying power, we did add some trades today. We're not going hog wild, but we're going to end the month of December up 25,263. So that will be our best month of the year. So really good year overall. We had some struggles in August with Volmageddon hit, took some losses there, and then rallied and came back strong the rest of the year with our best month at the end of the year here too. So we've recouped the majority of that. We're doing great in this account, and we're set up, I think, really well for next year. All right, so let's take a look at the two trades I talked about here. The first one being oil. So let's take a look at oil. Here's the trade that we put on in oil today. I'll get off the screen just maybe in case you can see a little bit better. But it was a 112. I showed you the chart in oil. It's bullish right now. I feel pretty comfortable with the 55 naked puts here. So we sold the 55, two of those naked puts, and then we did a 63, 64 wide put debit spread. If we stick around up in here in the tail, we'll pull in about $1,000 on 11,000 here. So almost 1,100 on 11,000. So almost a 10% return in 76 days. Totally fine with us. If oil slides back a bit, we could potentially make some more. But I do like this trade in oil. We closed out another 112 for a winner. So this trade doing pretty well. That was a trade we put on today. So you can see that trade right in here. On the session, we still have a strangle. That strangle's up 17% in 21 days. We have another 112 up here, up 60 or 74%. ES was down on the day, but we were up on the day. Most of our naked puts are off, so this P&L open will always be negative because we're just sitting on put debit spreads. Now, if those come into play, then we could easily see some significant gains. But we're sitting on just a ton of put debit spreads. We got one expiring today on an old long-term 111 trade. We've got an FB trade that have got 17 days in that thing to go. And then one more long-term 111, the last of its kind out there. Then we really turn into the 112 calendar put debit spreads. So this is where those really start down in here. And we got a bunch more sitting in here. So all of these put debit spreads. So if the market does tail off or slowly start to head down, these will start to pay off. In fact, this put debit spread right now is already up 55%. This one's only down a fraction. This one's up 50%. This one's up 41%. This one's up 7%. So a bunch of our put debit spreads are actually up in this in that piece. Here, some of the older ones are down a bit because they're going to expire. We do have the naked puts on. This one's up 45. This one's down 39. This one down, or up 4% right now. Now we did add, I shared with you guys yesterday, and we've got a Jade Lizard running. I love this setup. This Jade Lizard's doing great. It's up $1,000 now in 13 days. we'll let that thing just keep cooking along. Then we also did a 111. Instead of doing a reverse Jade Lizard, we went with a 111 trade here, which was an at the money 111. So we are now in the money on the put debit spread in one day. So this is already starting to generate some cash flow there. And then we're pretty decent distance away here on the naked puts. I mean, it only had one day of decay, but we're up a bit on those. So I like these two trades. I think we'll get a couple more of these spec type trades on here that takes advantage of us sitting here. But it looks like we're going to start seeing some put debit spreads starting to pay off. And then we did add, uh, we did roll our vol hedges today as well. So we've got vol hedges in here doing great. Fine with all of those. This was a new vol hedge roll today. We added more longs, paid for them with some shorts. We are now sitting on, I think, 120 long puts and 30 shorts. In fact, let me double check. 120 longs and 40 shorts. So a good ratio of longs to shorts on those vol hedges. And then we also have a few other hedges on. Gold, talked about the put credit spread, that's on. All right, bonds. So we are in a bond trade today. This is the one we put on. We put on a reverse Jade Lizard in here. So we've got a strangle. That strangle's down a couple $100. This strangle's down $1,000. It's all good on those. There's nothing to do. They're not even close to a problem. But this reverse Jade Lizard, this is one that we're in right here. Take a quick look at what this trade looks like for you. Oops, I already had it, I guess. All right, so here is this reverse Jade Lizard that we put on today. What we do is we sell a put debit spread. I'm sorry, a put credit spread down here. So we sold down in here right around I think it was like 105, 103, something like that. Maybe it was 106, 103. Let's take a quick look. It was the 105, 103 put credit spread, okay, down here. And then we also sold, okay, because I think bonds might be at a good bottoming area. And this also still puts us way below the lows that bonds were at previously here. So I think we're in good shape on this thing. We sold some calls out here. I could have brought them in a little bit more. I thought the 126 was not a bad zone to do that. Even if bonds rally, I don't know that they're getting back to 126. I think we just stay in this area. So we brought in $1,000 on that trade. So $1,000 on this trade. And when we put this on, we use about 3,500 in buying power. So $1,000 on 3,500 in buying power. I will probably still take this off for close to 50%, but we'll keep an eye on it. When we hit 50%, we'll make the call. It'll be a 2x loss if we hit that. But otherwise, this is a new trade here. I like these reverse Jade Lizards. I think they give us opportunities in there. And then obviously we're sitting on plenty of bill, about $150,000 worth of bill. And then we're also sitting on SPY leaps in here. Those are up fractionally in a day. So overall, on the trading account, we're in pretty good shape. I like where we are with things heading into the new year. So heading into the new year, I want to wish everybody out there a very, very happy new year. I hope you have a great time tonight. If there's anything that you're doing tomorrow, enjoy the football or whatever you're doing tomorrow, and then we will be back at it on Thursday with you with some updates to what we're doing, trade plans. I talked to our members today on my investing account. There, just reiterating in the investing account, we did some house cleaning today. We did get out of our MicroStrategy trades today. In fact, let me take a quick look. We got out of a good handful of things today just to focus on quality. We got out of our Square poor man's covered calls today. We got out of our MicroStrategy poor man's covered calls. We got out of our SOXL covered calls. We got out of our AMD one what was it? Oh, Jade Lizard there, and then another MicroStrategy Jade Lizard for a winner today. So we got rid of a lot of those, in my opinion, lesser quality names. I really want to focus on next year, keeping the quality high in that account, and we're certainly there. So I'm going to be focusing on the Qs, the S&P, IWM, trying to keep about 50% of my account in the investing account invested in those, either in stocks, leaps, something along those lines. I'm using about 20% of that account. I'm selling leaps on quality names like Nvidia, Google, Tesla. So I'll be selling leaps on those. And then I'm going to use about 20% for poor man's covered calls on stocks I like. The Teslas, Nvidias, SoFis, JP Morgan, Palantir, Amazon, Meta, Hims, Costco, IBIT, CMG, and Hood. That's my list of stocks. That's where we want to be for next year. If I see opportunities on a sell-off here, I think that poor man's covered call is going to be the great opportunity in there. And then we'll use the last 10% on spec trades, and we'll use many of those same stocks and any technical setups that we get into. But I like where we are on that account. We're sitting on Google, IBIT, IWM, Meta, Nvidia, the Qs, SPY, TLT, TMF, and TNA. If bonds can hold in there, hang in there, and give us any kind of a return next year, we're going to be in great shape. All right. I hope you guys had a great year this year. I hope you learned something. If you like this video, as always, click the like button down below. If you're not a subscriber, we'd love to have you on board. Subscribe away. If you want to see what we're doing in the Discord, there's a link down below to get 40% off the first month. Come and check out what we're doing in January. Get some trading ideas. I guarantee you're going to increase your knowledge. You're going to come up with great trading ideas for yourself. It'll pay for itself, okay? But it's going to put you in a community of really, really good, smart people that are helpful. You got Igor, myself, you got Gabe, you got some of the other moderators in there, as well as a ton of really fantastic members. So Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you in the new year. Stay safe. Bye-bye.